welcome to CGI Talks. Today is our second episode and we are glad that you are viewing this with us today. Now, if I have asked you, what are those pointers that determines the growth of a community in a foreign country? I mean, we have different pointers, so to say. Some may say that a new club or a community that is being built is a sign that diaspora is growing. Others would say cultural events that's happening in that country for that particular region, if it's growing, then that's a pointer that that particular community is growing. Others would say if you have an authentic restaurant of that country that is growing in a foreign land, then that's also a pointer. Now, one factor is also media. That is, it can be print media, it can be broadcasting, etc. And we in this region, under CGI Frankfurt region, we also had one initiative that started off which took us to that level to show that our diaspora activities are not just limited to clubs and vereins, but also we need more broadcasting initiatives. And for that, we have Apna Frankfurt representing us today. None other than Mr. Prabhanjan Gadela, who started off Apna Frankfurt with his colleague, is our guest for the day. So, Prabhanjan, welcome to this session.
Thank you, Arun.
Today, Prabhanjan has two hats on his head. He's not just representing Apna Frankfurt, he is also representing Telugu Velugu for this session. So for me as a content creator, that's a buy one, get one free scenario. Prabhanjan, we'll get into the business side of your activities, Apna Frankfurt and Telugu Velugu gradually. Let's start off with short icebreakers, get to know you as a person, because a lot of people know Apna Frankfurt, but they may not know the face behind this. So you came for your master's, for your graduation is what you said in your profile, based on your profile. Now that was a time when countries like US, UK and Australia were in vogue for student communities, right? So what made it you to choose Germany for your graduation? Was it by chance or by choice?
It's actually a combination of both. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I came to Germany in 2001.
Okay.
So it's even before really that this boom of people going to foreign countries like US, UK and so on even started. I finished my graduation in 2000. And then after that, I was really searching where to go, what to do next and so on. Mm-hmm. And then it's little after Y2K thing. Yeah. So Y2K thing was already solved by 2000. And then we are slowly entering into 2001, and then that's when exactly I finished my bachelor's. Mm-hmm. And then I was really looking into different opportunities, where to go, do I have to work in India, if at all where, and so on. And then a lot of my friends, my classmates, they already booked their flights to the US, UK, and so on. Well, everything comes with a price, and then as I came from a lower middle class family, it was not really affordable for my family to send me to foreign countries like US and UK. And then suddenly I saw an opportunity in the newspaper about the German university. Okay. And then suddenly I just started doing some research on that. Mm-hmm. I found it very interesting, first of all, because Germany is offering free education.
Yeah.
And then secondly, Germany has produced so many scientists. Mm-hmm. It was not really visible, it was not really marketed in such a way, at least during those days, that Germany has really produced so many scientists, research mm-hmm. scholars and so on. And I presented this idea to my father and he said, okay, why not? Mm-hmm. Then I finally landed here. Okay. And I still remember the day when I landed here on 1st of March 2001, morning at 6 o'clock. Okay. And then it was snowing outside.
Oh yeah.
Some memories stay in your memory forever.
I can relate to that.
And that thing I would never forget it.
Okay. So was it that one particular university, or did you also have other options in Germany?
Well, there were many options. Not many. There were a couple of options. Mm-hmm. But I directly chose TU Braunschweig. Okay. Technical University Braunschweig. Mm-hmm. And mainly Braunschweig because it's still in this there is a category or the top layer of universities which is called as TU9. Oh, okay. So the top 9 universities in Germany, and at the same time Braunschweig during those days for computer science was, I think, number 5th position. Okay. It was not really well known, but that was the fact. Okay. And Braunschweig had produced one of the greatest mathematician, Carl Gauss. Was
Gauss theorem or something.
Exactly. And then when I saw that while I was applying, then I could immediately recollect what I learned this name, I think during 10th class or 11th class, right? And then I said, I have to go there.
Okay.
And then that's how I landed at TU Braunschweig.
Okay.
And it was a great experience, TU Braunschweig.
Okay, interesting. So that period, let's come to that period, so to say. It was 2006, then you had eventually 2007, 2008. That is when the financial crisis just came up, right? So from you as a student perspective, although it started off in US, it spread globally. Was it a challenge, or was Germany capable to manage that times? What do you feel?
Well, when this crisis came in 2007, I think you are referring to the crisis which was triggered by Lehman Brothers crash and so on. By that time, I already started working.
Okay.
But before that, the life was not that easy. Firstly, because when we came here in 2001, we were one of the pioneers from India who came here to Germany. First of all, we did not know the language, we did not know the culture, we did not know anything actually. So, and then on top, we were completely in a foreign land where it's not directly accepted, people coming from India and so on. So it was not so easy for us. But somehow I swam through and went through a lot of struggle. And I learned a lot of things. For example, I did not know the language. Then immediately I told myself, learn the language. Language is the basic thing what you can do here. And without language, you cannot even cook your food. That's what I told myself, and then that's what I tell a lot of my people who come here newly. And then make friends, integrate yourself. So that had really paid me off later on when I started working since 2005, I think. Where I could immediately implement these ideas, make friends, integrate yourself, and then show to the people that you are willing to learn the language.
Okay, understood.
And then this 2007 came, this crisis came, and it was, on one side I was really lucky to get into a job by then, but on the other side I saw a lot of people who were losing their jobs. In fact, a lot of my peers, they lost their job here. So they had to struggle. But German government had really, helped the situation to take it into control. There were a lot of measures introduced by German government for the job seekers, or for the entrepreneurs, or for the students and so on, by offering a lot of incentives.
Even at that time,
even during those times. I would say I feel that I am really blessed to have chosen Germany as my destination country.
Understood.
In comparison to the US or UK or whatever. Because Germany had gone through a lot of crises across the generations.
True.
And it has survived, and still Germany is one of the top leading countries. And especially during the latest crisis during COVID, Germany has navigated very efficiently, and I have told many of my friends, and I am really convinced that at least during those times, I was living in one of the most secure countries.
That's a very clear thought. I mean, people who have lived in Germany would vouch for these statements that you said, right?
Yes.
The social stability you get even in crisis situations. So shifting gears to your post your studies. I mean, you got into Deutsche Börse is based on your profile. So was it directly from your masters that you got in there, or and how was it? Because you mentioned about language being a factor and integrating being a factor also. So do you think these foundations have changed over time? Because, or is it still the same basic foundation that we should maintain, that you should be confident with the language, you should also build a level of presentability through your resume and you as a person? I mean, for job seekers right now, do you think these have changed, or is it almost the same?
It's almost the same. I would not say that it has changed. In fact, I would say that it had even more become more stronger. That you have to, I would like to stress again that anybody who would like to stay here for a longer time, make a career, make a life here, learn the language, And it's of course, it's a little hard, but
Understood. Yeah.
you have to, pay some price somewhere.
True.
Yeah, and this is the price what you have to pay.
Yeah.
For that, the benefit what you can get is enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for your question, how I ended up at Deutsche Börse, I finished my studies in 2005, and then I was really lucky there. Immediately after my master thesis, or while I was doing my master thesis, I started applying, and this was the first shot. And luckily, the first shot really, I hit it, and then I ended up at Deutsche Börse.
Interesting.
Again, was it a choice or chance? I would say here, it's a combination of both, and especially Deutsche Börse was a chance, which I really used it, which I really materialized it, and I stayed there for 12, 13 years. And then I joined as a programmer, and then I moved the places, and then I got out of Deutsche Börse at a respectful position.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, stressing to the new job seekers or whatever, or the foundations. I think the foundations are always the same. Yeah, and these foundations doesn't really apply only for Germany. It's for everywhere.
Yeah, true.
If you want to settle down, or let us say, even within India, if there is a chap who is coming from Telugu states, and then if he wants to go to Mumbai for a job, then he has to learn the language to
integrate,
make his life easier.
True. Yeah.
If you say that I only speak English, I don't speak any other language, then it would not be that easy for him. He has to slowly learn the language.
Yeah.
At least to a certain extent where he can make himself more comfortable. Otherwise, he'll be treated as a foreigner forever.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. The same applies to Germany. People come here, and then if you want to have a comfortable life, that's the foundation.
Nice.
And then in the job environment, obviously, the CV is the sales deck.
Pitch.
For you as a person. So you are selling yourself. To sell yourself, the CV is the first thing what ends up at somebody who is recruiting.
Okay.
So it has to really drive that person to invite you for a call.
Yeah.
So make your CV as strong and as precise as possible, so that it really pulls him to pull you into an interview.
Understood.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's a little bit different, but during those days, I used to print out my CV, sign it, handwritten sign it, and then make a kind of a small folder with all the certificates, and then I used to post them.
I remember.
Yeah, and that's what they call here as Bewerbungsmappe.
Yeah.
And it is still, it's still
traditionally followed.
Yes, traditionally followed by traditional companies.
Okay.
Yeah, like pure German companies, being Siemens, Bosch, or whatever, they still accept the Bewerbungsmappe. Well, I think they have shifted from a physical paper to an electronic Bewerbungsmappe, but still they still call it as like that.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Good. There's lots of wisdom covered for the student viewers over here, and we have even more interesting things. We will come to that in the later segments, because there's lots to unpack with Prabhanjan's profile. So let's get into the more interesting details of his profile. So before we jump into your current position and your current role, I had a very curious question. We have this Indian community, this growing Indian community inside Deutsche Börse. I would say they have numbers to start a verein of themselves, which I don't know if they have. So was it always a trend even when you started off, or was it a recent trend that there is a big Indian community?
I joined Deutsche Börse in 2005, and I was the third or fourth Indian there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and the other Indians were TCS expats.
Okay.
So I was not from TCS. I was from a German company, from a German consulting company, placed there at the client. Now you can imagine, I joined there as fourth Indian there. And now I think, if I can guess, 4,000.
Yeah, that's right.
Plus minus. So many Indians are there. So it's actually a combination of both demand and supply. There is a demand from Deutsche Börse side, or from the client side, that they need more people, and the supply is from the Indian,
Indian IT
service providers. Recently, I was talking in one of the other conference, and I said, India is the production house of the skills, and that's exactly the supply and the demand is here, and the demand is here even much more bigger than in comparison to some 20 years ago, because Germany has got a very high skilled deficiency, and they are really looking towards the countries like India mainly, where they can get the people onboarded and then get the economy running. Otherwise, here there is a huge aging population. There is a huge problem which is awaiting Germany in the very near future, and to overcome that problem, they only have to hire skilled people.
Yeah, understood.
And so since then I joined. Since I joined the Deutsche Börse as the initial guys, the trend has increased a lot, and this trend is not only at Deutsche Börse. It's many companies,
many banks over here. In fact,
all the banks. And in fact, in 2005, when I came here to Frankfurt, I used to hardly see any Indian on the streets, and nowadays I don't need to.
Yeah, that's evident. I mean, every weekends you have a lot of events. So, with my starting remarks, what shows a growing community? This is also a factor. In a company, there is more demand for Indians. Okay, let's come to your current profile now. Let's briefly talk about it. So, you had like 10 plus years in Deutsche Börse. Now, for anyone from a middle-class Indian background who ends up there, they would prefer to stay in that safety and comfort of a established company, Deutsche Börse being one of them. What made you take that leap of faith to start something of your own? And this is again because we have a lot of people also in our diaspora who prefer to start something of their own, but have that slight fear before they take that next step. So for a person like you who has already done that, like 10 years, 5 years back, what made you do that, and how do you reflect to that decision of yours?
That's a good question. Well, coming to Germany itself was a leap of faith, isn't it?
Yeah.
When many people, or let's say 9 out of 10, were looking towards the US, UK, and Australia, I was the guy who was completely going off-road and looked towards Germany. And since ever, I am kind of risk taker. So I like to be in the comfort zone, but at the same time, I like to, push my limits and then see what happens.
Okay.
So I was in this company for more than 10 years. And then I was in the position of VP. And then I said, okay, what after that? Yeah. And then I said, I don't want to end up my career in this company. I want to explore the other companies as well.
Okay.
You see all the big companies out there, all the big buildings. And then I said, okay, I just leave the company and then make myself free, get into consulting, and then where I would have an opportunity to explore many companies.
Yeah.
I was pretty young there during those days. I could still take the risk, and the only message I can say that people have to take the risk. The sooner, the better.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Later, you'll have family, kids, and so on. So your risk-taking appetite might go down. So the sooner, the better, and then that's where you can really live your own dreams, passion, and so on.
Okay, that's a good message. So the earlier the better, or else you will end up old like us. Okay, so now let's get into the major part, the business side. Now, in the initial part, I said you are also representing Telugu Velugu Germany as its president. So let me take this off my chest because I should have asked this to any of my Telugu friends, but I'm ending up asking this on an online media. What does Velugu mean?
Velugu means light.
Light. Okay. So light for the Telugu community in Germany. Should I understand like that?
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
Yes. Well, Telugu and Velugu, these are kind of rhyming words.
Okay.
But there is a meaning behind it as well.
It's a more literal and romanticized word.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you don't use it daily, like switch on the Velugu or
no. We just. This Velugu is a kind of poetic Telugu word. On one side, it's rhythmic to Telugu,
understood.
And on the other side, there is a meaning behind where when we established it in 2006, we really wanted to really give a ray of hope, light to the Telugu community in Germany, not only in Frankfurt. And that's how we named it as Telugu Velugu Germany. We did not name it as Telugu Velugu Frankfurt. Yeah. However, I'm not the founder of the association, but I was part of this association for over 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I joined it as a general secretary, and then we have served together with the team for many years. And right now I have the position as the president of the association.
Yeah. So we'll come to the history of this, but before that particular aspect now, we are talking about the Telugu community in Germany, right? Because normally in India or in our Indian context, we have this insider references or pop culture references that connects particular communities to particular NRI as NRIs in different countries. Like, for example, the community that I come is mostly connected with Gulf countries, right? And for the Telugu people, we normally connect them with USA. Yeah, I hope I'm not offending anyone, but how do you see that, that approach towards Germany for the Telugu people?
You're absolutely right, actually. At least in my community, it's my family community in India. Everybody ended up in US. And like I said earlier, that was the kind of culture what we had, what we partly still have. And I was a kind of black sheep which went off the road, and then I came to Germany. Then I had really proven that US is not the only destination country. You can also end up anywhere else where you can really feel comfortable and make your presence and identity visible. Right? So, having said that, the Telugu community was just handful some 20 years ago. Let me put it like this. Let me categorize the whole timeline pre-2000, 2000 to 2010, and then 2010 to now.
That would be easy, so I can avoid a question.
Then, so pre-2000, there were people coming from, especially Telugu community or Telugu states in India, only for study and research.
Okay.
And there was
pre-2000.
Pre-2000.
Okay.
And then after that, from 2000 to 2010, the influx has increased.
Okay.
Because people were not only looking towards to the US, but also to Germany, because the opportunities are increasing here.
Okay.
And the awareness also increased about Germany. So people really started coming here from India as experts, as students, as research assistants, and so on. And then slowly, as a word of mouth, it keeps on spreading. And at the same time, when we started this association in 2006, we also did a lot of services and made ourselves visible, not only in Germany, but also in India.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's how we created a kind of awareness in Telugu states that people can not only go to US, but also come to Germany as well. So the rise of influx from Telugu community in India to Germany has increased enormously until 2010.
Okay.
And then from 2010 onwards, the settlers has increased. So people really
preferring to stay.
believe that this is a place to settle down.
Okay. Got it.
As I said earlier, when I came here, I came with a bunch of people, and everybody left Germany to the US, and people were thinking Germany as a kind of pit stop.
Platform to jump.
Yes, that's a kind of mentality people used to have.
Yeah.
But it slowly reduced, and then people said, okay, this is also best place to live. One of the best places to live.
Okay.
And there are many things which I can mention why Germany is the best place to live. Without comparison, but this is on par the best place for me to live. And then the settlers has increased since 2010. And then we really founded or made a fundament of the whole community with this association, with the other associations in different cities in Germany. We have a big network of associations, and Telugu Velugu Germany is the oldest Telugu association in Germany.
So, how was it demographically divided? Like, were there pockets inside Germany where the community was more focused in, or was it spread across Germany?
Well, typically the Indians first look towards the metro cities, and here in Frankfurt we started our association. Later on, I think Munich has started, Stuttgart has started, Düsseldorf, Mannheim has started very recently, and many other places they have started their own associations. But however, we maintain the network and then we help each other, and that's the main purpose of an association, helping each other, joining hands, growing collectively towards a common cause.
So you mentioned briefly about the outreaches that you did in India. Like, can you elaborate a bit more on that? Like, how did you spread the word?
I mean, right from the beginning, our association, we said it is not only to celebrate the festivals. It is for, first of all, making the people feel at home here in Germany. At the same time, also give back to the society. Because when we have made our career and then made our life, somewhere we also have to give back to the society, and I completely believe in that.
True.
And that's how I started this social entrepreneurship.
Through Telugu Velugu.
Yes. There were, for example, a couple of natural disasters happened in Andhra and Telangana.
The flooding.
Exactly. There was a big cyclone in Vizag. It was completely devastated. So we collected a lot of funds. And then from here, we have supported the people in Vizag.
So were you physically present?
Yes. So to reduce the red tapeism,
understood.
We did not really give this fund, which was collected very hugely. We did not give this fund to any CM fund or something. Our chairman, who was the founder of the association, Mr. Sai Reddy, he flew all the way from here to Vizag. Then he organized these charity campaigns there, and then he distributed all the things what we have collected here, and at the same time money and so on. So these are the kind of things what we did, and then that had really created an awareness on our association, and at the same time on Germany. And then people back in India, they started thinking, oh, our community is getting stronger in Germany. Why not go to Germany? So the visibility has changed. People started not only looking to the English-speaking countries, but also to Germany as well, with all these things.
So that's a good message, I think, for the people who would like to start a diaspora community, that not just focusing on the country where you're based in, but also, if possible, be physically available in India and your own state or wherever you are. That also makes a big impact. That's a very, very good point. So let me get into another curious question that I have, Prabhanjan, is now a couple of years back we had the state formation that happened, right? So for me, as a non-Telugu person, I would just empathize it or read it from a newsreader perspective. And that's the only point of view that I can get, what media provides me, or maybe a couple of my Telugu friends who can provide me. But you, as a community representative and also having been involved in this, how do you see that this has reflected or impacted the wider diaspora outside India, and also particularly in Germany? How did it reverberate?
There were different opinions on this, but I personally see it in a positive way. So there was the state Andhra Pradesh, collective Andhra Pradesh earlier, and then it was bifurcated into Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Telugu Velugu Germany, our association, was existing when the collective Andhra Pradesh was existing. And then after that, after the state was divided, I have heard in many other countries that the associations also separated. But in Germany, for our association, we said we will not. We will stick to the language because we represent the language, and then the language is the binding factor between both the states, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though India had these linguistic states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, they still share the same language, right? And then we said we will keep it Telugu Velugu Association, and we are really happy that we could really keep ourselves together. It had impacted, in fact, in a positive way, that we are celebrating the festivals from both the locations, from both the states as well.
Wow. Okay.
So earlier we used to celebrate Sankranti, Ugadi as a signature events. But we also added Batkama, which is a special festival which happens in Telangana only. And we started celebrating that as well. So we cater to both the areas, both the people, and everybody is happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we have had an advantage with that.
In what sense?
Advantage in the sense people they realized even more. Exactly. They felt even more unity here. And what else can we expect?
Wow. Okay, that's nice. I mean, that's interesting to hear how a language can still stick on, and bring the community together.
As I said, language is the binding factor. And that's why Telugu Velugu Association, from our association, we started Telugu language classes, which is also a huge hit. I think it's been 2 years now, and we conduct the classes every weekend. And then we conduct it religiously, academically, and then after every academic year, the children, the students or the pupils, they get the certificate as well. So we follow a certain curriculum, and with this curriculum, they get the certifications, and then it's a kind of after 2 years, we are not yet. The kids are not yet in that level that they can get the 10th class certificate. But our idea is to hand over them a 10th class certificate.
Wow.
Telugu 10th class certificate, which is a kind of equivalent to that certificate what they get in India.
Okay. So do you also get support from Indian educational organizations or anything like that?
As of now, not. We are self-sustaining association. And we are still doing good.
Oh, good. That's nice to hear a lot about.
This is what I say, giving back to the society.
True.
And I'm really, really happy that all my office bearers, they believe in this, and then we are working together.
Yeah. And this is not just for Telugu Velugu, but all the diasporas, right? It's most of them, the office bearers, are having their day job. So regardless of that, they are still spending a big chunk of their time, and also a part of their personal life. Also, they're keeping away just for these diaspora activities, and that's commendable.
Well, for that matter, it's not only Telugu Association which is doing this. I think in Frankfurt, especially because I can watch it from Frankfurt point of view, because I'm a citizen of Frankfurt. Every association is doing their excellent job, to keep the community together, to help each other and so on. I think Frankfurt has got one of the most disciplined Indian community, which was also attested by the Stadt Frankfurt.
Oh, is it?
Because we were organizing many events, and then Stadt Frankfurt really said we were one of the most disciplined foreign community in Frankfurt.
Oh, that's the first time I'm hearing that.
Yes, indeed. For that, I really appreciate every community, every Indian,
of course,
of Frankfurt.
Yeah, there's a big contribution by Indian communities to Frankfurt and this region. So that's actually also one of the purpose of CGI Talks, where we want to introduce personalities who have done that for our diaspora. So okay, now shifting gears, let's get into your next initiative, that is Apna Frankfurt. Now, I'm just referring to you, but I understand this was also started along with your colleague, your friend. In the initial introduction, I said, different criteria that decide a growing community. And, as a social entrepreneur, you'll have different ideas of how we can give back, right? being a member for a community organization is one, or starting a restaurant is other, starting a art school, dance school, music school is other. But where did you come with this idea of a radio station? How did it come up?
I'll tell you a story with my experience. In my early years, what was the real one thing which I really was missing?
Don't tell me Doordarshan Radio.
Well, Doordarshan Radio, you can also connect to it. But for any expat, for any foreign person who is ending up in any foreign country, the one thing what he really longs for is information. Family, missing the friends and so on, everybody misses it. But information is the one thing which everybody misses, and then everybody keeps on searching, where can I get this information and so on. Yeah, be it about the visa related information, about the schools for their kids, or emergency details and so on, or what's happening here between these two countries and so on. And that's exactly where Apna Frankfurt has started.
Okay.
So we want to, help the people, because I was going through that situation with the lack of information. We want to help the people who come here to Germany with the information.
Okay.
Well, then we had thought, we did a lot of brainstorming. How can we provide the information? There are many ways. Setting up a website, setting up a social media channel, and so on. But one thing what is really missing is the radio.
Yeah. Of course.
And when you said Doordarshan, so everybody turns on.
It came out.
Everybody turns on the radio, which is the first thing what anybody does in the morning.
True.
And then we said, let us start a radio.
Okay.
Information can be pulled or pushed. Right? If you need an information, then you go somewhere, log into some website, and then pull the information. How would it be that the information is really pushed to you? Then you will have the comfort of staying wherever you are, just switching on the radio, and then you keep on getting the information whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if it can be blended together with entertainment,
what more do you need?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
And the entertainment, Bollywood music, or any local Indian language music and so on.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so getting deep into that topic, so obviously bureaucracy is a big point or factor of the life over here. So this being a broadcasting initiative, did you also have to go through those steps when you were establishing this?
Nothing is so easy, Arun. If everything would have been so easy, then everybody does that.
Yeah, particularly a person like you, I would agree.
Yes, we had to go through a lot of bureaucracy, and then we had to really find out the ways how to get this thing done. Because we are the pioneers. Our radio channel, no any Indian or Bollywood radio channel here in Germany.
Okay.
So we had to really get online and then find the information, where to register, where to get the licenses, and so on. And finally, we said, let us start. We had a vision of starting an FM radio, where people can switch on the radio and then listen to our radio daily. But we found that it's not so easy.
That was my second question.
So to start off, we said, let us start online, where the entry barrier is relatively low. And the hurdles are relatively low. So we said, let us start with that, and then let us keep on, spreading the information, onboarding the people onto this Apna Frankfurt platform, and that's how we started Apna Frankfurt on online. There is an advantage as well. If it is an online radio channel, then it can be heard not only in Frankfurt but everywhere. We are getting traffic from across the Europe.
Okay.
We are getting the traffic from India as well.
Oh, okay, understood.
We are getting the traffic from India, and there are so many testimonials that people who are looking towards Germany, they start listening to our radio. Being in India, they get the information of the Germany, how the things work and so on, what we broadcast by staying in India, and then people are getting already prepared what with all the do's and don'ts in Germany.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Right. So there is an advantage of that. Obviously, we definitely want to onboard ourselves on an FM channel.
Yeah.
There's a huge bureaucracy. We have approached the city Frankfurt authorities for that. We have also approached the Indian, political representatives as well. Things did not move that much because there are some regulations here.
Understood.
And I'm really happy. I would be really happy if the community comes forward and then also supports from the community side.
Interesting. So you mean you also need a big backing also?
Exactly.
Okay.
So if we would get a big backing from the community that this is really required by the Indian community, then we can also show to the German authorities saying that we have so many people, so many requests, and then such a big community. We need an FM channel, and if CG could help us with his support or with his influence,
Understood.
then we can also create a beautiful feel at home scenario here. And actually, the tagline of Apna Frankfurt is feel at home.
Feel at home. Okay, interesting. So you touched a bit about the positive responses and the reactions that you got for this. So anything more like that you felt, the potential of this, where you got a positive response. You said about people from India getting more information. Any other instances that you feel was?
Well, I can only cite the COVID times.
Okay.
During COVID times, Apna Frankfurt had played a vital role where we had, disseminated the information, the valid information announced by the German government through our channels. And unfortunately, the German government, they only announced it in German language.
You could do it in English.
We are the only channel who had translated all the information, all the guidelines, COVID guidelines announced and published by the city of Frankfurt into English. And then we had posted it on our website, on our social media channels, and through our radio, we had really spread the information to the people.
Okay. Wow.
And there were huge appreciation and recognition during those days. For our work, and that's the positive thing. And those positive messages, what we got and what we are still getting, those are the driving force for us, to keep this thing continuing.
Yeah. So actually, Prabhanjan, there are two sides of the coin, right? So for an initiative like this, even when you get positives, you'll also get criticisms, like for such initiatives when it's touching people's lives or when you're spreading information. Did you also have to go through that phase of managing that?
Well, criticism in the sense, I can only say that people keep on asking us to expand our services, expand our services and information portfolio. But unfortunately, we are somewhere at our capacity.
Okay.
Yeah. So we want to onboard ourselves onto FM. That was one of the main comments what we get.
Yeah.
How can I listen to our radio in my car? We say if you are driving one of the latest cars, then you can also try maybe DAB, or else switch it on from your mobile, and then with the Bluetooth you can just listen into your car.
So do you have an app?
Indeed, we have our app. So we run through app.
Okay.
So I request everybody to go online and then download the app, and then just enjoy our radio.
Okay.
If you have any kind of comments, just let us know the comments. We are in a continuous improvement mode. So feedback is very, very important. Feedback from the community is very important. And that's how we can grow together. Right.
Okay, so let's get into the closing segments of this now, Prabhanjan, just to summarize all this, what you talked about. Now, your profile is of a person who took that extra mile, that leap of faith, so to say, be it from your job there, then also offering services to the community and also starting a broadcasting initiative. So do you think the environment over here in Germany is supporting a risk taker? Because if you compare it with different countries, even also with India, the pace of that startup culture is kind of I would say not so fast compared to other countries. So in such a scenario, is it encouraging for kind of a risk taker who would like to start something out there? What do you say from your experiences?
I think yes. Germany is opening up and then welcoming a lot of startups. They are learning from the other countries and then inviting investors and so on. And as I said in the beginning, there is a lot of potential here in Germany, mainly because of the skill deficiency. There's a lot of requirement. There is a lot of potential here, and Germany was ever very rich in research. It has got universities here, big universities here, in the field of research, healthcare, pharmacy, or even now IT and so on. So if there is a startup idea, which is catering to these areas, then you can definitely find a good possibility that your idea can really fly. And the German government is also offering subsidies and incentives for the startups. So my suggestion would be, if there is any idea, just get online, find out the information, make yourself informed about all the benefits what German government can offer, and then make use of it, and then fly.
Okay, wow. Yeah. Okay, that's a good message for the job seeker. For the entrepreneurship community who would like to start off.
Yes.
So another question for the job seeker community that I want to, we touched a bit on this in the earlier part of this, but let's get into another angle on this. Now, we talked about you surviving through the financial crisis period, and I myself came in this country when the European debt crisis was happening and also had to go through a job seeking phase. So there are all these market factors that you hear, right? So recently when I also had conversations with students, they keep telling that the job market is, affected because of that, this and all. So do you think these factors still play a role when it comes to job seekers?
Germany is part of the world, so it is also impacted by the international situations, incidents happening across. So if there is a crisis happening, then the crisis happens also here. But on the other side, I would say that the German policymakers, they are very cautious about such things, because they have navigated through one of the recent crises, Corona, or the previous crisis, Lehman crisis in 2007, very efficiently. And also there were many crises in the very recent past in the whole Europe, right, in the EU. And Germany is still one of the strongest, or I would say the strongest country in the Europe. So just believe in yourself if you have an idea, if it's a startup, and then if you have a very unique skills, you can definitely find a job here. Yeah.
Wow. That's a very positive message for the job seekers. And we also unpacked a lot of information for all of you. There was, we learned a lot about the Telugu community's history over here, and also starting a radio station, the challenges that go through this. So Prabhanjan actually took us on a long journey, interesting journey. I hope this was useful for everyone. And if this has crossed our time limits, don't blame me, blame Prabhanjan for his profile. But yeah, hope this was helpful for the diaspora. So once again, Prabhanjan, thank you for your time. And we look forward to your initiatives also for the diaspora that you're doing.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Arun.